everybody. This is Kathy, Barn Quilts by Mountain Visions. You see what we're going to make today? In the last video, I promised you that I was going to do this one. Now this is a 3x3. So what I'm going to do is create it on a 2x2 so that I can get the whole thing in the frame. And most people like those 2x2s. But this one is a 3x3. And I'll give you those measurements as well. So in the end, you'll end up with the pattern for a 2x2. But you can also make a 3x3 if I can just get it moved over. Now, I'm fighting over here. You didn't know you was coming to a battle, did you? Okay. Now, I've got my paper taped down so it won't go anywhere. This is a 24x24 sheet of paper. But when you do your barn quilt, you'll be drawing it on your board. I'm just doing it on paper so that you can see it better. Okay, the first thing we need to do, for the 3x3, your lines will be 36 inches. But on the 24x24, we are going to draw our lines 24 inches. So what we need to do now is to find the center of our board. And you know, if you, I'm pretending this is a board now. If you lay your ruler down and your board is not exactly 24 inches, just keep eyeballing it till you have the same amount left over on each end, and then mark your center. Good. Alright, now I just now made a tick mark on all four sides, and all I'm going to do now is just connect it. So if you had a 3x3 or even a 4x4, that's how you get started. And bless your heart if you want to try to make that into a 12 inch by 12 inch. That's all I can say. Alright, now we've got that first line drawn. Now the rest of the lines need to be, we've got these four, I'm sorry, and we need 8 points for this star. We're drawing these, the first layer right now, and we need 8 of those. So we've got 4. So what we need to do is find the distance between these. And the best way to do that is with your arc. Now, I guess you could lay a ruler down in here like this and try to find it. But, you know, that's not going to be perfect. Or you can lay your yardstick here. Let's try that and see if that works. I'm going to lay the yardstick from corner to corner. And I got it right in the middle. And so, right in here is the center. Let's see if that worked. Because sometimes people don't have these things. So the middle would be 45. See, so that works. See, that's just right in line. So here's what you do with this. I think we could use this one. No, not to mark it we could, because we've got to go all the way from one corner to the next. And all I'm doing is finding the center. So I'm just making me a little mark where the center is. So you got to line it up with that and these corners. Alright. Now, these lines was 24 inches. So now we need these other lines to be 24 as well. So we're going to fight the ruler a little bit and put it right on 12 and line it up with those tick marks that we just made. See that? We got it right on 12. So we just draw a 24-inch line. Now, this is a 24-inch ruler. Alright, we're going to do it again. Line it up. So that worked out using that yardstick. Okay, so we've got our first layer. Now we need to draw these. And you have to draw them before you can start working on this. Let me see what, I think I may have, yeah. I had what you call them things? You know, those things that spin it around, a spinner. I had a spinner under it. Yeah. All right, now let's do I'm going to call this the first layer of points. And now we're going to do the second layer. And we have to find the center of these. So we're going to try that test again. I don't think it would, it won't work like that because you don't have any points to actually center it up. So we're going to have to use this. All right, so we've got our arc laying here, or compass, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to go from 0 to 45. So the center of that is 22 and a half. And you see I've already got it marked right here. And I'm just going to twist mine around everywhere I can put that 22 that I already marked. I did that when I was making that one. When I was making that big one, and it just seemed like it was just as easy to twist it around. And you don't have to. You can, let me get my bearings right. You can count, you know, if you wanted to, like. So this was just easier to do it this way. Because I already had that marked. Get back on my place here. Wait a minute there. Missed that one. Just make sure you get it straight before you make your mark. So I'm just lining it back up. Alright, so we've got our mark all the way around. And we still want these to be 24 as well. So we're going to lay our ruler back in the center at 12. And again, I'm using that 24-inch ruler. And we're just going to draw 24-inch lines. And those I'll be calling the second layer, or the second layer, or you could call it the front layer of points. Trying to get that lined up. One more. That's, I mean, this pen, this writing tool that I've got, is making my marks thicker. That's the only problem I have. I've been trying to find stuff that would show up on the screen, but be thinner lines, so y'all could see them. It wouldn't mess up like that. That should be in the center, and it'll work out. Okay, now we need to draw this middle section here. So the first thing that we want to do is draw the center. So the first lines that we drew, if you look at this, they're going to line up with that star point here. So the first thing we need to do is to try to find the distance here, so we would know how wide to make these and how wide to draw these lines. So okay, I went around and I made that second group of lines. Instead of red, I did it in my pencil lead color. And you can see this one right here. Kind of got wacky, didn't it? Alright, so that's the second set of lines. That's the ones that we need to be looking at right now. So you may want to draw yours off in different colors. The first set and then the second set. That might help. So the second set here, we want to make that 5 inches. So we're going to put our ruler in the center at 2.5. And then we're just going to draw a tick mark here and one here. And we're going to do that on every one of that second set of lines. Putting it at 2.5 because we want that to be 5 inches. Lots of tick marks on this one and this one. And I'll show you why we're doing that. Okay, so you see these? We're going to make that center of that. You know, I tried to figure out the name of this, and it is a cross between a compass star, a Christmas star, it looks like it could be a Moravian star, and a sunflower. So for the purpose of our video, we're going to call it a compass sunflower. How's that? Because it looks like it could be a compass, it could be a sunflower. we're going to call it a compass sunflower. Back to the pattern now. Let's look at these. So here is that first line that we drew. Here's our second set with our tick marks. And what we're going to do is just cross over them. See that? And you got to do it facing you and at the bottom. Because if you do it this way, it's not going to work. So we're just going to make our lines. Okay, see there? Now see, all this is going to be painted brown. So if you didn't get it quite in the center, it probably wouldn't matter that much, except for, you know, if you just got like a ruler and tried to find your mistakes, you could find out that maybe that one is a little bit centered up better than that one or something, but we're not going to worry about it because it won't matter. We're just going to have some fun. Okay, so that was 5 inches here. The next thing we need to do is go to our first set of lines that we did, and we need to draw that out 2 inches. So right here where I'm at, that first set of lines across here, where that line we just drew, go from there and make you a tick mark at 2. And go to the next one. And we're doing our first set of lines now. I'm going all the way around. Okay, now you see that? And here is how we're going to make these lines. These 8 points right here that's in the center of our star. Our compass sunflower. So you see those tick marks that you made earlier? All we're going to do is just draw our lines here. You see on the 2 by 2, they're not quite as pointy as they would be on the 3 by 3, because you just have more room to work. See what we're doing? And always make sure you hit that line when you're taping. And I know that I don't always show you how I tape or anything like that. Most of the time I'm just giving you the pattern. But I do have how-to videos uploaded. So just go to my YouTube channel, and there's a feature on there that you can pick like the different categories, and you pick how to, and you'll pull up all those videos in case you don't know. Okay, so now on this second set of lines that I did it in the dark color. We're going to draw those star points here. So we're drawing the second layer. I'm calling that the first layer now, so that's the second layer. And all we have to do is see those points here that we just drew. We're just drawing out to the edge. And I'll do that in this darker one too. How's that? And we're going to make 8 points, so it's every other one. That one got a little off, so I'm making it work here. So you'll know which ones to draw because it's the point of these. And you're just connecting it out to the end. Okay, see there? And now we're going to draw our first layer of points. So we have to find this point here. Now, okay, wait a minute. I'm probably going to have to go back over and show you the 3x3 all by itself because I'm forgetting to tell you that as I go. So I'll do that. And what did I say that was going to be? Okay, that was going to be 2.5. Lots of 2.5s. So on the points that you just drew on each side, we've got to measure and put a tick mark at 2.5 on each side of that. And that's how we're going to make sure we got our points even. My head's not in the way. I struggle with that all the time. Two and a half all the way around that second layer of points that we just did. Alright, there we go. Now here's our second layer. All we have to do is go to the end of that line that we drew the first time and connect them to our tick marks that we just made. And see, your points are already divided because that was part of the pattern, so it divided them for you. And I'm going to show you the colors in a minute. Let's go all the way around. And then I'll show you the leaves and we'll be finished. Ooh. There you go. And that is this. So you want to take a screenshot of that before you put your leaves on there, you can. All right, now we only have 8 leaves to put on here. So they're in each corner. There's 2 in each corner. See? Here, 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 and here, and here. So somebody's starting to saw, y'all. So these are going to be 4 inches long. See this? 4 inches long. Let me see if I can shut this door. I don't know if that'll help or not. So here's the leaves that we're going to draw. So first we need to make a line. We need to find the center of these. And when I done that, I just took my ruler and laid it across here. And so it's almost 5. So I just evened it up and made a mark at 2.5. So that's what we're going to do. We're just going to even it up on both ends and make a mark at 2.5. We're going to do it all the way around. See, it's almost 5, but not quite. So I'm just centering it up. Oh, here, almost messed up, didn't I? Y'all like the sound of somebody cutting wood? They're building a couple of houses up on top, further on top of the mountain than where we are. And so I can't tell if that's where it's coming from, or it might be across the lake over there. It could even be my husband out there. Of course, he knew I was videoing, so I don't think he would have done that. It don't matter. It's the country. Okay, so we've got this, right? So now we need to, I guess I could have done that when I was making the mark. But what we need to do, we need to make sure we know where that center is right there. And just lay your ruler back at that 2.5, 1.5 inches. So we're going to put it on a 1/2 inch. I'm sorry. We're putting it on 2.5, and we're drawing 3/4 this way and 3/4 this way. You see that? We drew 3/4 this way and 3/4 that way. So we've got 1.5 inch line. Now, we're going to do that all the way around. So we're going to put it on 2.5. I'll say it 3 or 4 different times. And we're going to draw 3/4 this way and 3/4 this way. All right, then to finish off the leaf, it needs to be 3 inches. 4 inches. It needs to be 4 inches long. So just put that 2, put it right on 2 inches, right in that center here that we have. and draw it 4 inches. Let's do that again. Put it right on the 2. When you get it centered on the 2, just draw 4 inches. And then all we're going to do is connect the lines. So that's just guide marks in there. You can just get rid of them. Now, you'll have a leaf here, a leaf here. Instead of me drawing them all, you don't need me to do that. But you'll have 8 leaves. All right, and that's it. That's for the 2x2. Okay, now, do y'all want me to mark that, the measurements on there? I mean, I can, like, this line is 2 inches. This line, this line was 5. So all of those was 5 inches. This line is 2 inches. And then we measured this one at 2 inches and drew the line up there. This one is 2.5 inches. And that was all the way around. This was 1.5, and this one was 4. And all these long ones was 24 inches. I think that's right. I'm going to put need 8 so you won't forget. Okay, how's that? You want to take a screenshot of that? And if I forgot to write down a measurement, then you can just go back and... So we just connected these so you didn't have to measure anything there. So take a screenshot of that, and then you'll have to write, if you want the 3x3, you'll have to write this down. But as I'm showing you the paint colors, I'll tell you the measurements of the 3x3. Knocking everything off over here. Okay, hang on a minute. Let me go get the paint. Okay, here we go. For the darkest color here, I used Crimson Glow. And those lines are 3 inches. This brown one, for the brown, this is 2 inches, and I used Little Bear Glidden. Crimson Glow was Valspar. Alright, and again, these tall, long lines, they're all 36 inches on a 36-inch quilt. So the darkest one here, again, well, this dark one was the Crimson Glow. This one and this one's the same, and it's caramel cream. Now this is the fall colors. If you wanted to use anything different, you could. Alright, like I said, that one was caramel cream. This one is pumpkin butter. And then for my yellows, I used the dark one is chickadee. And the light one is English daisy. English daisy is Glidden. Chickadee is Valspar. Pumpkin butter is Valspar. And then my leaves, I used Luscious Green, and that's Valspar. And for my background, one of my favorite blues, I used Indigo Cloth. So if you had one color of this, you could lighten it up and make it work for this. If you had a yellow, you could lighten it up and make it work for both of these. So you don't have to go out and buy 8 colors of paint. I have them, and so that's what I use. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And this is just a beautiful barn quilt. This one, like I said earlier, is going to Amanda. I said in a previous video, I'll put it that way. It's going to Amanda in Arkansas. So as soon as I get it sealed up, she'll probably have it before this video comes out. But I got to seal it, and she'll be finished. Okay. Put it back over here. And we'll see you all in the next video. Hope you subscribe and click the bell for notifications and hit like. That always helps. They say it helps with the algorithm if you hit like. So I appreciate it all. Thank y'all for watching. Happy painting.